Good evening, everybody. Welcome to because we are recording, I'm going to read this into the recording. Welcome to the Philadelphia Folksong Society board meeting for May 22nd, 2024. My name is Miles Thompson. I'm the president of the board of directors. I would like to call this meeting to order. First thing we need to do, just a note, our board member, Wendy Fuhr, may be joining us later. She had a work thing that has gotten in the way, and that sometimes happens, so she may be there. May come in. If not, she'll listen to the recording. She'll be transcribing it anyway. So I'd like to have someone put forward a vote to approve the minutes from last month. George has forwarded that motion. Someone second?
Second.
Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And there was nobody opposed. Okay, good. All right. Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for joining us. I'm kind of I'm losing track of 46 people. So that's good. That's a good number. So the president's update. Not a whole lot has gone on at my end from last month. What has been going on at the festival director's end, and I'm sure we will hear about that. That is part of the discussion tonight. Just a reminder, this is similar to last month's, that Historic Germantown is continuing to present their Music Alive series, which is a living history of 20th century American music, and it's on the second Saturdays throughout the summer. On June 8th, our old friend Saul Brody will be performing from 4 until 8 in the courtyard at the Germantown Historical Society on Market Square, which is essentially Germantown Avenue between Schoolhouse Lane and Church Lane. And it's a wonderful little courtyard. I was there last month for the Roy Bookbinder show, and it's a very cool spot. Andy was there too. And it's a real sweet little spot to hear a concert. So again, the ticket link for that will be in TuneUp. Please do your best to support live music from our neighborhood organizations. And if you're into a broader range of music, they have a really nice array of jazz performances coming up throughout the summer as well. So if you like jazz, please patronize that as well. Iron Mountain. Wendy and Trish Hurley-Callahan have been spearheading the effort to get our archives out of storage with Iron Mountain. I'm just going to put this sentence out there. Iron Mountain continues to be complicated with their communications. We are moving forward. I was going to do an update from Wendy, but Wendy is not here. And the update is today I got Trish approved through a letter to be someone they can actually talk to. They're a corporation that seems to do their best to, once you're in with them, make it very difficult for you to leave. So once we know more and we can start arranging moving dates and material stuff, we will let people know, but that's where we are. So there's nothing new there. Before we move into specific departments, committees on the board, and from the committee chairs, do the board members have any particular announcements or issues you need to bring up or want to bring up? Okay, let's start with Eric Ring. How we doing there, bud?
We're feeling better a little bit. So the only real issue that I had was last month I had announced that the sales tax exemption had lapsed back in 2021. So I had submitted the renewal for that. That was approved. So we, for sales tax, we can now buy stuff without paying sales tax.
Excellent. And thank you for the hard work on that. There's a series of glitches that there's a bunch of stuff around that time.
We find stuff
stuff bubbles up from time to time. Anything else, Eric Ring?
No, not for me. No.
All right. Eric Robbins, your turn. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, thank you, Miles. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the highlights for May, we had an approximate $2,000 loss for the period, and that's just because we're incurring expenses now for the festival after having received a lot of ticket sales up front. Now we're incurring the expenses. We did pay down the line of credit by $10,000, and now our balance is down to $10,000. And we had approximately 31,000 of festival ticket sales in May. If we look at the income statement, you can see the bigger numbers are in the fest column, 31,000 approximate of ticket sales. And we have started incurring expenses, paying expenses and deposits. So around 34,000. So we had a little bit of a loss on the fest side from the beginning net assets, which represents cash. 333,000 is now down to 330. And on the society side, we had about 6,000 of member dues and donations, about $5,000 of operating expenses. So we increased the net assets, no longer a net deficit, thankfully, a little bit by $730 million. So at the end of the day, our balance sheet looks like this. We have $357,000 in cash. 330,000 of it is festival cash, and 26,000 is the society cash. You can see our liabilities are down to just 21,000. Once again, the top two are things we're not paying right now. But we are paying the Upper Salford Township debt, $500 a month. We're down to 1,000, so we have 2 more months to pay. Line of credit is at 10,000. So our net assets are 335,000, looking pretty good right now, but obviously it's going to dwindle as we start paying festival expenses. And then when you look at our cash flow statement, we had that loss of $2,000. And we paid the Upper Salford $500 payment on the liability. So we used $2,500 in operating activities, paid down $10,000 in financing activities. So we had a decrease in cash of $12,000, going from $369,000 to $357,000. That's what I got.
I'm talking to a muted screen. Thank you, Eric. I'm wondering why all the lights are blinking at me. So that our membership is aware, what's happening is that we so far have been bringing in money from ticket sales and memberships and have not been spending a large amount and we're starting to do that. So as we've moved into this month, we're starting to hit some sizable deposit checks that are written for stuff, for things we need, and including writing a check that hasn't cleared yet for the deposit for the sound company, and the deposit which has cleared for the tents, which is half of their charge. And so we're getting into some large money that's going out the door right now, which is why it looks like we're having a big drop in funds. That's to be expected, and we knew that would happen, so nobody should panic about that. Rob, development report. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, that's a great segue. Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Eric. While we shouldn't panic, we need to be cognizant that we're going to need to have at least 2 to 3 times more revenue in order to actually come out not in the red this year. So how are we going to do that? Obviously, we're going to be getting some more tickets, and the festival directors, everyone's doing their job there to make sure we have the greatest festival we can have. And I know many of you, or all of you just about, have bought your tickets, but there's still a need to fundraise. And a lot of our focus, of course, is at the corporate level now with sponsorships. We are about to officially sign the Martin contract this week, and we will be announcing the Martin sponsorship as our main stage sponsor. And we are a little over half of our goal for sponsorships right now, but we have not yet gotten started on our ads. And one thing I want to throw out there is all of us frequent businesses, some of us even own businesses, really think if there's an opportunity that you think would be helpful for advertising, whether it's a little business card or whatever, if everybody pitches in something or thinks of somebody they could approach, that'll help us move up. So that's a great thing we're going to be doing. We do have a team of volunteers that are already out with our materials. If you'd like to help us with that, great. If you have an idea, this could really help us. In addition, we are going to launch a few efforts. We have been looking into, obviously, the David Crosby guitar. We have some ideas on that. We're not ready to move on that yet. We're doing some more research. But more importantly, we have a new initiative that we are going to be exploring and presenting to those who want to participate. And it's what's called peer-to-peer. It's like a thon. Some of you have done run-a-thons or walk-a-thons. It's an opportunity to reach out to people who aren't involved in the festival. You maybe have not thought about, but you think might want to give $20, $30, whatever. People who want to participate will. People that don't want to don't have to. But we need to do everything we can right now to bring in as much revenue. And I know a lot of us will be participating. It'll be fun, and the ideas are coming from volunteers entirely. Some of the thoughts about it and the development of the concepts have come from longtime campers, longtime volunteers on our RD committee. So it should be a lot of fun. You'll hear a little bit about it. So those are our ideas right now. Again, as you notice, we're not just doing one thing. We're doing sponsorships. We're doing ads. We're not asking for direct money as much as coming up with campaigns and fun ideas that we can move forward with and involve more people who haven't yet been involved in helping us. So that's kind of where we are right now.
Blah, 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 blah. Talking to myself. Are there any questions? Thank you, Rob. Are there any questions from board members about Rob's report? I know we've been talking a little bit about it. All right, good. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Rob, while you're there, talk about the Musical Artists Cooperative and how things are going.
So just like we have some great volunteers on our RD team, which stands for Resource Development, which is a fancy word for fundraising. Just like we have a lot of volunteers that are helping with that, and we could always use more, we have a tremendous amount of people helping out in MAC. I always have to give hats off to, first of all, to Maura Levine, who's doing a lot of the background work, doing a tremendous job keeping track of our MAC membership, which has recently expanded. We do have limits right now. We've had to kind of put a cap right now at about 50, but we have been able to have a few additional people join in that were nominated. Also, hats off to Jefferson, whose booking committee, Jefferson Barry. We've expanded our venues. So we really are moving forward. You're noticing a lot of new events. We're not getting as many people as we hoped to some of these events. We had a great event at the Keswick that was free. Those who came there, I see some people shaking their heads. Really top-notch songwriter, top-notch band in Cubism, and we have other top-notch bands and performers coming. So we hope that you come out and that you spread the word. Not all of them are free concerts like that free member concert, but they're all discounted. Every PFS member gets at least 25% off if it's not a free concert. So I encourage you to come out and check out some of the best local music around. And there'll be more on that as time goes on. But I think right now, if I haven't forgotten anything about MAC, somebody will remind me, I'm sure, either now or during the question and answer period. Anything else right now? I think that's it. I think I'm done with my MAC report.
Thank you, Rob. And let me just say, I was last week at the Fallser Club in East Falls for the first time for a MAC show. And the Fallser Club is a great, great space. So if you're anywhere near, if you're in Center City or over the river on that Upper Marion side, you can get to East Falls easily, or if you're in Germantown, Mount Airy, Chestnut Hill, etc. It is a wonderful space with a lot of room, and it's I hate to use the word, but it's a groovy space. That's kind of the best description I have for it. But yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised, and there's a place to patronize. All right, thanks. Jess, do you want to tackle communication stuff?
Absolutely. I also have a membership update if that works, just because I was sending out some information to members. So I have some numbers there. So last month, I believe it was reported we had 1,134 members, and we had an increase by 39. So now we're up to 1,173 members, which is great. Thanks everyone for your support and
Awesome.
And joining PFS. So as members in PFS, there's lots of great benefits, and we'll be tackling that more this year. But one thing that you will receive is a tune-up. Typically that recently has been, of course, that newsletter has been going out before the board meeting, but because the board meeting was a little earlier in the month this month, it'll be sent out by next week. So you'll get that newsletter called the tune-up only for PFS members. That oftentimes includes really cool things like member concert discounts, news that's only for members, along with you're kind of the first to learn about fest updates and things like that. So thanks to Annie, Mara, Kimberly for your significant contributions to support the board in creating the tune-up for PFS members. And you can check it out this month. For more information, as Rob mentioned, perhaps about the Friendathon or other sponsors that are helping us out for Fest. You'll also see Kimberly will speak to this more, but we're working on a first timer initiative, and you might have seen that last month. How many of you have a friend or two that they said that they've always wanted to go to Fest? I know I do, and this is a perfect time to welcome them to join. Come to Fest, and we have an initiative that can help kind of encourage them with a small discount, but that should be helpful for anyone who has not attended yet. So like I said, Kimberly will talk more about that. Some of the concert deals, as you heard Miles talk about, historic Germantown has their Music Alive series, and PFS members get a BOGO for the Saul Brody show coming up on June 8th. So that'll be really cool. It's Songs of the Dust Bowl, Woody Guthrie and Beyond. Rising Sun Presents continues to offer generous savings for PFS members, including 10% off for select concerts, along with ticket giveaways. So pay attention to those ticket giveaways, both in the tune-up and then also in social media. You'll see it's just a quick form to fill out to express your interest. And our June feature shows will be announced in the tune-up as well. So additionally, you heard Rob talk about MAC, and MAC has teamed up with the Keswick Theater in Glenside to host a free monthly member concert and gathering, and it's in their annex. So that's something that we look forward to on the third Tuesday of each month. It's free for our members, and you can also bring a friend who wants to join our membership as well. So just one more thing. I think that was it actually. This June 18th is Mindy Murray of the River Drivers. And that'll be the free show in June at Keswick. Any other things that you were thinking for communications? Just let me know. Any other questions, comments?
And because Rob has also in the past done a bunch of the membership report stuff, I wondered if, Rob, there's anything you needed to add to this.
Okay.
Only that we want to wish the best for Erin Gorse, who has done so much work for us in membership. She's not here tonight. She might be busy having a baby. We're not sure, but we know that she's due very soon. And just want to all send our best wishes.
Big wishes to Erin and her family, and we'll know soon, I'm sure. Cool. Jess, was there anything else in the communications end for you?
I think that's it for now. Thanks.
Okay, very good. Thank you. George, any governance report issues?
No, we have nothing new to report. We're working on the board manual, putting the additional documents into it. That's all. So no, nothing new to report.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. Communications. I have a communications report for Kimberly. I think that's probably mislabeled because we just had that. Kimberly, let's talk about this stuff. Talk about where we are with communications at your end.
Hi, everyone. Absolutely. Would you mind if I shared my screen? Because I have quite a hefty list of things that have been happening in the festival director world. So thanks for everyone for coming in tonight. Here's what I have. I've broken it down into categories. So in May, we put day passes on sale, which was wonderful. We announced Tony Trishka's Earl Jam, a tribute to Earl Scruggs, is our Sunday night headliner. Plus we announced, I think it was 16 additional acts, give or take a few. I think Andy mentioned this in the last meeting, but the Sunday stage is going to start an hour earlier this year and will end around 9:30 on Sunday. Wanted to let everybody know that the MAC performers offers have been sent out. They have been notified. We have their stages and times roughly set. So that's something that we're still working on in the background, and we will share the news of those folks and more local performers at the next performer announcement, which I'm looking around June 4th or 7th. I can't remember. The beginning of June is when the next announcement. And also we have a stage for the extreme folk scene that is sponsoring, and that is going to be a hot little stage, let me tell you. So we're working on that in the background too. So these are things that we're going to share more. Let me move you all over, sorry, so I can read here. So once we get all the performer announcement out, because there's been a lot of questions about where the local folks, well, if you'll recall, we had 550 applications. Some of those folks we've already gotten in touch with. Some of those folks were the MAC folks. So if we have more room on our stages, that is the next group of people that we're going to be looking at. So everyone just stay tuned. Putting this together is like a fancy game of Tetris. So that's the next phase. We will move into scheduling after we figure out the next round of performers. Then we met with the finance committee, which Eric mentioned, and I'm working with Julie Leinhauser to assemble the information for the performer deposits. We negotiated those to go out in the beginning of June so that we would have the cash to pay those deposits. So that is in the works. And here comes the first timer ticket, you all. We have sold one of those. Now, I know there's plenty of folks that haven't been to Fest before. So if you know anyone, please send them our way, as Jess mentioned, but I am going to tell you the story of the one ticket that was sold to, because it's a great story. This individual lives near Fest, has lived there for 20 years, never has been, saw the opportunity to come and decided this was the year. So not only did they buy the first timer ticket, they also bought some add-ons. And just so everyone knows who's watching, and to tell your friends, the first timer discount is only on entrance tickets. It's not on anything else, and it's not on VIP tickets. It's only to get people into the doors, because that's the most important part, because once they get there, we know that they will always come back, just like everybody I'm talking to right now. I don't think there's one person that told me a friend didn't tell them about Fest. They went for the first time, and they've come every year. So that's what we're looking for, and that is the reason behind the first timer ticket, to introduce folks to something that we know to be the best event of the year. So there's that on the first timer questions. If anyone needs the promo code, because that's how you get it, email me, please. That's how we're doing it. Now for the sponsors, as was touched on earlier, we officially welcomed the Louisiana Office of Tourism as our premier sponsor. Way to go, Rob and the whole team. Excellent. So we met with them, we're in talks with them, and we're keeping up to date with them, and they're lovely. They will be at Fest, by the way. The website has been updated thanks to Sue with pages for sponsors. You can now purchase ads through there and get any information that you need at thefolkfest.org. Again, continued thanks to Sue Deckard for keeping the website up to date. The volunteers. I sent out a request to all the chairs and co-chairs encouraging all volunteers to sign up before June 4th. I know that's a big ask and it's not possible for everybody, but if you can, it just makes it so much easier for the chairs and the co-chairs to schedule and to have an idea who's on their team. Earlier is better in this instance. So thank you for everyone who's done that. And volunteers and all Fest lovers are invited to make a short promotional video. You may have seen some of these online, and I just got 3 amazing ones over the weekend, which are scheduled and will come out. But I just wanted to let anyone know that this is open to anybody. If you love Fest and you want to tell the world about it, make a video. I will drop the link in the chat, or it will be in the next newsletter that comes out, how to make those videos and where to send them. You just make them with your phone. They're fun. We also post those on our YouTube channel, and we post them on all our social media outlets. An update to all the chairs looking for list of volunteers who have already signed up. Dan Gobstein is the person who's doing that. What Dan is doing is he is taking all the information out of UPT, running it through a program. It takes him some time to do that, and he will be reaching out to each one of you individually to let you know soon. I understand it. But any questions about that, please ask Dan. Here's a fun one from the Green Room Committee. We had a meeting. Does anybody have any swanky patio furniture? Because we need to make the we got to swank that place up. They haven't seen the furniture this year, but after 2 years in the exec trailer and those futons were a bit kind of sketchy to begin with, we're not thinking that they're going to be in great shape. So please, be on the lookout. What we're looking for is, those sofas, comfy chairs, barrel chairs, tables, mirrors, any folding chairs. And if you have that, contact Jennifer or Cheryl, or just get in touch with me and I'll connect you. The craft vendor applications are still open. We've gotten some great applications and we're making great progress there, but just if you know someone, please have them apply. And look, y'all, it keeps going. I'm gonna try and go fast. Marketing and public relation updates. I met with the Valley Forge Tourism, and we're working with them to maximize our exposure on their various platforms. They have many things to offer us, and so it's been very positive meeting with them. Radio ads are running on XPN. They started April 20th. They will run through Fest. Digital ads are running on Meta social media platforms for several months now. I hope you all are seeing them. Radio interviews are occurring. For example, Tony Trischka interviewed with Craig Harris, and that will be out June 7th, and we'll put that in the newsletter as well if anybody wants to listen to that. Friday, I'm meeting with Mara to review more radio outreach. We have a whole plan for that. Our Instagram account has gained 366 followers in the past 90 days. Way to go, everybody. Julie Linehauser continues to enter our information on event calendars and at online sites. She's been doing that, and she continues to. This is fun. We will be featured in Philadelphia Style magazine in July. They sent a photo request, so I sent in some swanky dressed up individuals, and that will be in July. We will be featured. And I guess swank is my word for the night. Claire, our volunteer Claire, is working on a pitch to the Philly Inquirer about how PFS has turned itself around. That happened through Liz Braylow, so we're all working together to make these things happen. I already talked about the website. Oh, and Dave Axler, I wanted to let you know we do have a style guide about how to use our fonts where and when. So if anybody needs that, email me. I will send it to you. That was a fascinating discussion. Educational components. I did the second educational series with our volunteers, teaching folks how to use our scheduling tool later. And it was very, very productive. And I want to thank all those folks. We had about a dozen people there, and they are rocking it. They are starting to schedule social media, and it's awesome. A bit of interesting news. Our grant was not recommended for funding. The one that Annie and I and Rob worked so hard on, and everybody worked so hard on. And I'm meeting later with the project manager to get the feedback from the jury. It was an interesting grant. We jumped into it. I think we had 2 days to get the materials together. And so we did the best we could, but once I know the feedback, I will let everybody know. And that's okay.
Let me interrupt you. Was that the Mid-Atlantic Arts Foundation?
It was. Thank you. Yes, the Mid-Atlantic. That was for $6,000 to present one of our performers. So, it wasn't a massive amount of money, but it would have been nice. But once I like getting feedback from the jury, because that way we can plot, plan, and do better next time. So what we need, if anyone out there has these skills, we are seeking a volunteer, a graphics designer to lead the program book. One thing that we do every year, as everyone knows, is we make amazing program books. We're looking for someone with that skill level that wants to jump into that and help us out. And just to remind everyone, if you want to join the marketing and communications team, we have a lot of things that we do there, from community outreach to press release. Tomorrow we're going to send out information to the folks tomorrow. It's going to be more of a help desk situation with me. But the next one, Jess and I chatted briefly, we're going to have a brainstorming marketing meeting, which will be super fun. So bring all of your ideas. And I believe, let me go down. 3 ways you can support us. Listen to our playlist on Spotify. or watch rather the playlist on YouTube. And again, thanks to Will for putting those together. And if you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every time we get subscriptions, it helps us out, believe it or not. So that's it from the festival marketing, communications, and artistic side. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Was there anything else? And since we've moved into festival management team reporting, was there anything else on your end that needed to be discussed? No?
Not that I can think of
Okay.
right now.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good, good. Let me hear from Andy and Michael. Let me start with Andy and then go with Michael. You are muted, my friend.
How's that?
There you go.
I don't have any typewritten summary to put up and share the screen. But I do have some things to report on. First of all, the electricity is now on at the site so that committees who need it to get started can do that. We had to have some of the services on the poles recertified by Underwriters Labs. That was taken care of. We paid for it. Everything seems to be working. I had hoped to tell you that we had a FiOS line installed today. Rich Gopstein went all the way up to the farm to meet the Verizon people. And I got an email from Rich late in the day that they were all ready to turn the service on, but the lines in the street were down and they're going to have to come back. But that will be only a few days and another trip for Rich. We've spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks worrying about some of the major contracts from outside services. I believe that we are going to make a final decision within the next couple days to change the portable toilets and health department washing areas provider. The difference between the new people and the people we've been dealing with for the last couple of years, who took over Potty Queen, who was much nicer to us than United Site Services, could be as much as $40,000 difference. The only concern in making that jump is that this is the one contract that you have to make sure works the way it's supposed to, and that the people who are taking it are big enough and good enough to pull it off. But we think that we've satisfied ourselves that this is worth taking the shot at saving that kind of money. So while we don't have the contract in place just yet, we're still trying to get the gross number down a little bit. I think we'll be able to do that, but there is likely to be a change. As Eric Robbins was alluding to earlier, it's time to start paying out on some of these contracts. We just paid a little over $29,000 as the deposit on the sound. I've told you we're probably going to be saving, give or take $25,000 on that contract compared to 2022. I learned today that Jeremy Birnbaum has arranged for us again to get it's not a donation, but we will get the use of, for free, 149 walkie-talkie radios. And that solved a major problem that was new to me, but not to our communications people. in that the radios that we have are so old that they don't even comply with the Civil War regulations. And we were going to have to spend a considerable amount of money and time getting them licensed. And even though they might be licensed, several of them wouldn't be able to be used because they don't have the right band capability. So that's a big relief off our plate. Michael and I met with Pat Gurley and Ann Mason, who are taking care of the food vendors. We are looking for a total of 9 vendors that does not include the fire company for Upper Salford and the Skippack Lions who are in the campground. And we have 2 outposts in the campground and 7 in the concert side. We have 7 of those who are returning from 22, and there are plenty to choose from the other 2. And I imagine that will be locked up by next week. At least the identities will. But we're finding that our inability to find records from prior years is really getting in the way, and we have to start all over again. We had contracts for craft people for the past several festivals. Michael has reworked those, but we could not find any contracts for the food vendors, not for 22, 19, or earlier. And while Eric Robbins was able to tell us how much money we got from various vendors, we didn't know why those numbers were different. We didn't know about the spacing sizes, and we also had no idea of what we have in the past required of them for insurance purposes. But we finally managed to get our hands on a contract from 22 by asking the right vendor from 22 who happened to have it. Most of these vendors keep records almost as well as we do. And fortunately, one of them had a contract, and we're in the process of reworking that one as well. We will need to get to work, and I know I've been threatening Eric Ring to send him some insurance declarations, but we're going to need to get to work on that fairly quickly because other contracts can't be processed with us as the buyer until we come up with insurance certificates. And that's not a big deal, just that the contracts won't be enforced until we deal with those things. So that will be the month of June early on, Eric. I'll give you a ring. I didn't mean that. I will call you and we'll get started on that. It could be that the bigger problem will be the beer tent. We are getting nowhere with yards, and I have a call in to Lou Hipkins, and I'm going to try to get him to get us some backdoor information. They don't seem overly interested in moving this ball forward too much. It's, I'm sure, a direct result of the problems they had in 22. But we know they're not going to be a sponsor to the same degree. I'm not sure they've ruled out being the beer vendor. According to what we're learning from initial inquiries, there are plenty of local breweries, but there aren't that many that can produce enough beer to take on a job like this and still be able to have their normal operations. So we are making calls. There will be a push in the month of June to get this straightened out. it's very clear to me we can make more money on beer than we can on music. And this is important. So if we can't patch up something with yards, they are big enough to do this. They do produce enough. But this is going to be project number 1 for June. And I think that's pretty much my report for this month.
Andy, thank you very much.
Mhm.
And I do not thoroughly believe that I will give you a ring was not intentional.
Come on, come on. You didn't see my one about the patio furniture.
I did. I chose to be snarky about it, not to you. Mike, Michael, do you want to add anything to this spray here?
No, I don't think I have too much to add on that. I was thankful that Ann Mason during our meeting last night was able to come up with the food vendor contract from 2022 because I was at a complete loss on some of the finer details and numbers that we'd want to include from, especially for the returning vendors, not trying to change things up too much with a completely reworked contract. So I'll be getting to work on that. And yeah, as my father said, the crafts vendor contract has been submitted to the committee, and they have something new that protects us a little bit better than what has been used in years past. So we'll be using that moving forward.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. Any board members have anything they want to add or anything they want to ask of the festival directors? Andy and Michael, I have a couple of things I'm going to be sending you that are just a couple of queries about where things are that don't need to be done in an open meeting. I'll just send you an email.
Okay.
Just no biggie. Kimberly, was that a hand or were you swatting? Okay.
I did forget to mention, I knew there'd be something. I'm going to try and get Media Pass applications open in the next several weeks. I'd like to do that within the month, just a heads up to everybody. And of course, that will be on socials and we will let everyone know.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Good. Thank you. All right. We can open the floor to question and answers if we can give them from the membership. So Mara Levine has her hand up. Go ahead, Mara.
All right, so first I do want to mention that we have the open mic, the monthly open mic that's going to be taking place in June. That'll be on Wednesday the 19th. It's always the third Wednesday of the month. That is open to anyone who would like to join us. I think Jefferson's here. He'll probably give a more comprehensive report on performances, but I do want to mention 2 things. One, our next member performance that was mentioned that we have Mindy Murray, the River Drivers, that particular show is going to be before a Keswick performance. They're having WXPN welcomes A Summer Kiss with the Church and the Afghan Wigs with special guest Ed Harcourt. So we want to put a plug in for our partners at the Keswicks because people that night can come out for our show and then buy a ticket to attend the Keswick show. The other thing I want to mention about performances is that starting August 2nd to our regular First Friday performance at Malalani, Jesse Gimbel is performing there. After the set, we're going to have a regular social and jam session. So people have been asking about jam sessions and socials and things like that. So we're going to have a social and jam session after that. And then to clarify something that Rob mentioned about our new MAC members, we are bringing them on as of June 1. And one thing I think we still need help on is the payment link for those applications, because Erin was handling that for us and she's not with us at the moment. So I think Rob will connect with someone else on the board who can help us get a payment link.
We can make that happen. Yeah.
Applications. Appreciate that so much. And I think that's the news that I have because Jefferson.
Laura, quick question in the chat. The open mic is virtual, is that correct?
Virtual, yes. And I'll put the sign up in the chat.
People come nationally, I think. Is that correct?
Yes. We have people coming from across the country and all different places. It's very exciting. We have a wonderful mix of local performers and people coming from other places. We love the virtual world. I'll put the sign up information in the chat here for anyone who's interested. if anyone has any questions with me, I guess we'll turn it over to Jefferson for other stuff.
Thank you, Mara. And that lines up nicely. Jefferson, go ahead.
Well, it's good hearing that things are going so well. I'm really excited to be a part of this. And the thing about the PFS MAC is all these artists as they're performing, and we've put together 36 shows with 50 artists for this year, and probably will go much more than that. But the big shows that we've had have been, you know, phenomenal. We broke the Falser Club this last week with the Jersey Cornpeckers and Jackson Pine, both. And this has been true of all the performances. Both of them are just pumping up Fest at almost every other talk break, right? Talking about how much they love Fest and looking forward to its return. This Wednesday, the first Wednesday in June, we have an exciting show at the Warehouse 3 in Swarthmore. It's going to be Lisa Closet. And headlining that is Sad Patrick and Bethlehem. And if you've not seen this, Bethlehem Sad Patrick is one heck of a show, like nothing you've ever seen. And then our first Friday at Melilani, the best Greek restaurant in town, is going to be a two of a kind and Kerrville bound Aaron Nathans,
Awesome.
who's also been booked for the fest. And to see Aaron in a, you know, in a cozy place like that is, it's going to be a special show. So put those things in your calendar. Come out and support local music.
Cool. Thank you, Jefferson. Julie Linehauser, go ahead, my friend.
Random question about Fest, probably for Kimberly. Are we getting jugglers this year?
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay.
We have people who have reached out to us who have performed before, but we were securing the performers yet. So we told them that we will get back in touch. So they are on the list though. We can't have Fest without jugglers.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Thanks, Julie. Dave Axler, go ahead, my friend.
Thank you. Andy Brunfeld, quick question. Have you closed applications for food vendors? We keep getting a question about that in the main Facebook group.
Well, we still have 2 to hire. And if something comes in that is better than what we're looking at, we'll be happy to look at it.
Then can you please post in the main group how they should make themselves known to you? How
Well,
do they apply?
okay, they don't seem to be having any trouble finding me, David, but sure.
I keep seeing posts saying, how do I do this?
Well, yeah, but the last one was from someone who sent me an email 2 months ago. I responded to it twice and sent it over to Pat Gurley, and she's been in touch with her. So
Okay,
we have not hired that person yet, but I was surprised to see that one. It was a few days ago.
yes,
I did see it, but I personally was in touch with her.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Wow. This is fabulous. It's a hot night. If we can come down before 8 o'clock, I think we're doing really, really well. Board of Directors, are there any other issues or questions you have at this point? Festival Directors, are there any questions you have?
Not here.
Excellent. Would somebody please make the motion to adjourn this meeting? Somebody please
I
make the
motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Somebody else has got to second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, the meeting is officially adjourned. We should turn off the recording. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That might be the shortest meeting of this organization I've ever been to.